do you think we could successfully defend Taiwan?
I think right now, yes. If we really don't mess around and go in like hard and without any questions and are like, we're going to do this, which I think would be the right call at this point. I think we're pressing our luck, though. I mean, I think we were talking a little bit. I mean, I had an article in Foreign Affairs last week just saying the Biden administration is saying a lot of the right things about Taiwan and stuff, but they're not doing what's necessary. And I think the frustrating thing is like what's necessary is not, it's not like a moon landing. It's not like we have to like spend $1 zillion over 10 years. There are a lot of things we could do with like munitions, platforms where we have them, base investments, things that are like in the tens of billions of dollars that could be done. And it's like, yeah, that's a lot of money, but like how much is that compared to A, our defense budget, or B, the costs of losing it? And the other thing about this is I feel like there's a sort of industrial aspect too, which is like, well, obviously we shouldn't be buying our defense industrial stuff from the Chinese. So can't we like, our defense industrial base is not doing enough of what we need. Let's reinvigorate it. Now, that doesn't just have to be captured by the defense primes. That could be structured in a way that it's more equitable and helps small business and the working class and the middle class and so forth. I'm all for that. But like, let's just do it, because then we'll be in a position again to avoid the war.
So concretely, how does it work in the event of a hot war? You were mentioning how the biggest asset that China has is that all of these relevant allies in the region and everything are all within missile firing distance of the Chinese mainland. Can't they just, forgive me for being reductive, just yeet missiles at Taiwan, and we're trying to, in the meantime, supply them over thousands of miles of water? How on earth is that just not an attrition game for us, whereas they bear almost no cost to do it because it's so close to them?
Right. That's their big advantage. Our big advantage is they have to cross 100 miles of water and sustain operations across that. And that's a big...
But do they even have to cross the water? Can't they get away with just, long-range missiles plus aircraft?
Well, I go into this in my book at some length. It's a very good question. I think no. I think our own experience of attempting to use bombing and sanctions against countries to kind of get them to come to their knees doesn't work. I mean, if you look historically, we bombed North Korea, we bombed North Vietnam, we bombed Iraq, we used heavy sanctions on Cuba, Iran, and basically and North Korea and North Vietnam, they basically haven't worked. They can buy you a little bit, but why did we invade Iraq in 2003? It was partially because of the failure, the perceived failure of our bombing and sanctions campaign. So now this depends on the level of willpower of particularly the people on Taiwan. So I think in that case, if they get bombarded Battle of Britain Blitz style and they give up, that there's only so much we can do. And that is kind of differentiable to people, say, in South Korea or Japan, that, if you're not willing to put up with bombardment, then, there's only so much we can do because we can't give you perfect security. That's not the job of the American people. And if you look, historically, I mean, actually, again, historical examples, they're always imperfect. But, if you look back at the famous surveys of our bombing campaigns against Japan and Germany, the conclusion was actually societies are actually quite resilient to even very heavy bombing. I mean, the Japanese didn't give up until the combination of of course, the atomic bombs, but also the Soviet intervention and impending invasion. And the Germans didn't give up either. So I think that's we should certainly expect of the Taiwanese, and it would be very punishing. But if it turns into like, just throwing punches at them sort of indefinitely, then actually we kind of win. And by the way, that also shows the rest of Asia two things that are not good for China. One, that they're really mean and cruel and nasty. But B, that they're resistible, that they don't have the ability to come and like put a gun in your face. And that's going to, I think, actually strategically lead countries to kind of want to work with us.